depending on the effect of the parts or skill, you can trade HP if it is worth it. For example, this alone won't save you, but it can potentially make you a little bit more movable against, units that have a lot of E and stuns. And I do think trading that with 10% HP are worth it. So when you're building, Zero, right, and you don't have either you don't have any HP parts, or depending on the or depending on the situation, you can ask yourself, right, is this worth it, right? Is this skill worth the HP that I'm losing? If it is, then you can try it on, and if it works, then it works, right? So that should be pretty good. Like, for example, for this core, is it good? Like, is it worth it to trade about like 10% HP with a really good skill that reduce your damage, like that reduce enemy damage even more? I don't think so. So you can probably use this skill on, and I think that'll be pretty good. So yeah. So you can just gauge depending on how much HP you're losing versus how much benefit you're getting from the skills, right? For example, I wouldn't really use this, for example, the action cooldown, because the HP loss is way too high for it to be justified. So for something like her, right? Then because your HP are so low now, right? Because your HP are so low now, like barely 40%, then you can probably start using things like claws, because you're gonna be start taking damage. You're going to be start taking damage. So at that point, you just leave the damage to the new parts that you added, that you traded your HP off of, so you can get the HP back when you do take damage from the claws. But nothing stopping you from going for the fists as well, just for even more damage. But I think that's a bit too risky now. Now, if you reduce your HP to so low to a point where it is like not over 30k or something like that, right? Then maybe you can start considering using Firm Steel, just so you don't get one-shotted by the enemy Zero. Because if the enemy are using the HP build, or the enemy are using the same build as you, you can potentially get one-shotted by Zero if you don't have Firm Steel on. Probably. Even if you have Firm Steel, you will probably still get one-shotted, but preventing you from being one-shotted by enemies, whatever, right? So just watch your HP. Go into a battle, see how much HP you have. Then you can think like, hey, is my HP too low to a point where you want Firm Steel on versus not? So yeah. Anyway, I'm putting the HP peel back on so people know what's going on. So, alright. But yeah, again, it's really up to you to decide if the skill is worth it, depending on your rank, depending on your meta, depending on your whatever, right? Depending on where you are at the moment, depending on the mode, depending on who you face against, you have to, it's best to build it accordingly. Because again, my builds are not going to be encompassing on every single situation out there. So for future, after Wolong Thunder comes, because Wolong Thunder changed the meta so much. Well, yeah, it changed the meta so much to a point where I guess you have to completely change up your Zero's build, or else your Zero will just be like a punching bag, essentially. And that goes for pretty much all the mecha as well. So yeah. Alright, so for the builds after for the build after Wolong Thunder comes, and also in case, or for those who doesn't have enough HP parts or Nia to do a full HP build. So first first with the core, again, you still want some HP on your Zero, because HP Zero's Zero survivabilities and Zero's damage depends on his HP a lot. So you still want to either go for Charge Core, you want to go for this build up as a burst build. Kill the enemy first before they kill you, because Wolong meta have no mercy on you. If you miss a chance on killing enemies before Wolong start doing things on you, it could really depends on whose Wolong Thunder have a better RNG. Depending, like, whoever had the better RNG will win, essentially. And this build is just to kill, just try to kill enemies units before, before the reign of Wolong, and especially try to kill enemy Zero, or not kill enemies Wolong before the reign of the enemy Zero, before the ring of the enemy's Wolong. Because if the enemy's Wolong Thunder dies, that's probably game over for them. Because your Zero is gonna ramp, the opposite side Zero is gonna be ramping, is gonna be running rampant and just kill all of your enemies while your Wolong Thunder are just stunning all the enemies. So this build just give you a little bit of a chance to fight against Wolong Thunder, because again, Zero still got the damage. Zero got the damage to able to one-shot or almost one-shot pretty much any mecha in the game if we can get a good grab on it. So with this build is to just go for it, right? And I do think it's a lot more fun versus HP build, because HP builds can get a bit annoying, especially if enemy are using it. You won the game, right? But the enemy HP build are just holding hostage for entire match, even if the enemy Zero are being stunned a lot. And also, but if you're gonna go for this build, right? Like let's say in the end, this build become better. Now then, what should I do with all my HP parts? Like I farm Momo, right? I spent a lot of stamina to farm Momo. Now is my HP parts all obsolete? No, and because this is the perfect time to put all of your HP parts on Great Mazinkaiser. So yeah, now Great Mazinkaiser is not used anymore doing the meta, because Great Mazinkaiser is not going to be tanking. It's just not going to be doing much in that meta. It'll just be like a meat shield there, kind of like what it is still now. But what's it called? It's still usable mecha. Like you can, like if you want to just have it as like a meat shield there, you can, right? For example, right, you can use this build as a DPS to try to kill enemy Zero as to try to kill enemies Zero or other mecha as fast as possible. Then you can have your Great Mazinkaiser as a full HP build that you took off from this mecha, or from the Zero HP build. So it can be so it can be the one that's taking all the aggro. Like for example, if the enemy are using this build as well, and if it targets your Great Mazinkaiser who is having the full HP build, it can buy you time for your Zero to kill enemies units while not being dealing with enemy Zero who can potentially one-shot you, because your Zero are doing are basically half the HP. Then when your Zero are vulnerable essentially. So yeah, so again, HP build are not obsolete yet. I don't think it will ever be obsolete, because you're just unkillable until something comes out that just outstats everything. I don't see HP build being obsolete. So if you're going for this build, right, if EN meta in the future shows that this build is better because it can kill the enemies faster, it is a good time to put your HP parts, because again, most players can only do one full HP build, because there's only one Nia, right, and one Nia and one Kuno, right? You couldn't go for 2 or more HP builds, or it's pretty hard if you're not a top players. But again, so if you don't want to waste any resources, you can put those HP parts on your Mazinkaiser, on your Great Mazinkaiser, so your Great Mazinkaiser can be the tank, and your Mazinger Zero can be your DPS, and I think that's pretty good. And for those, and I think it's pretty hard for those players who play in this collab to not have Great Mazinkaiser, because you get one from the event, right? You develop one from the event, and you get all the free rolls from it. So you should have at least 2 copies, unless you just get very unlucky. But this thing, even if you get unlucky, if you use all the roulette, you shouldn't be far from pities. And just using a 6-star, like even if you only have 2 copies, just using a 6-star can work. Just all you need is chassis. Like get your Great Mazinger to 5 stars, then for your extra copies, upgrade chassis, and then put all of your HP parts on it, because your Great Mazinkaiser is not going to be doing anything. Your Great Mazinkaiser is just going to be there, taking all the damage, taking all of the stuns, taking all of the enemies' bursts, while your Zero, your DPS Zero like this, are out there doing the damage to the enemy's team. So yeah, don't worry if you think your HP part are going to go to waste. If this build happens to be better, just know that you can just do it, put it on your Great Mazinkaiser, so your Great Mazinkaiser are also not in a waste as well. So, and also, let's say if Great Mazinkaiser are just not are not used in top PvP, right? Even then, I mean, first of all, you have to be in top PvP to to know that Great Mazinkaiser are not usable. In your PvP level, it might just work really, really well. And not just that, because you can still use Great Mazinkaiser in Zenith, in Apex, in melee, in melee arena. All of those meta that can potentially have, that can potentially make Great Mazinkaiser PV, HP build shine. Because again, HP build, you're just unkillable. Again, being unkillable is really, really nice, right? And if anything, you can just use it as like a guarantee win or guarantee tie in 1v1 arena too. So yeah, for those who are going full HP, like who grind a lot for full HP, just know that hey, it's not a waste, right? And sometimes you might want to get your zero back to max HP depending on what mecha you get, right? For example, let's say you got Leviathan, right? And if your Leviathan are already doing the damage, killing the enemies Wolong, killing the enemies this and that, then maybe you don't even need to use this build on, maybe you don't even need to risk, making a non-max HP build Mazinger Zero, because you already have a job. You already have someone who's doing the job, like Leviathan. But again, Leviathan also had Byron Awaken on it, so how strong it will be in the end, who knows, right? So yeah. But yeah, what is going on? What's going on? But anyway,